I just got out of dinner, and I want to know, what the fuck is this alien bullshit? What is this? Are they watching us?
There is no mystery. The mystery is solved. The Pentagon knows exactly where they're coming from, where they're going. Mystery. There is no mystery. This is a big deal. I have a lot of Pentagon sources, a lot of corporate sources in aeronautics, space aeronautics. This is a giant psyop, and that's happening. This is a giant psyop. Now, just like all this different crap. We're going to keep watching this whole UAP, UFO hysteria very, very closely with live reports here.
We've noticed unusual lights in the sky the last few days. This is a video sent in by an NBC5 viewer over the Canadian border. This was last night in Brushton, New York. We've also heard reports of these lights in Vermont.
One of the latest sightings was actually...
That's right, Kristen. It happened late Friday night at Wright-Patterson Air Force just outside of Dayton. That the base says no property was damaged and no one was harmed. They were unable to talk to us, but we did talk to a few people who live in the area. Nobody I spoke with saw the drones Friday night, but they were familiar with the sightings on the East Coast.
There had been a plan made where they would hoax an alien, and that this alien would be rolled out slowly through an indoctrination and psychological. But there would be a scaling up with all kinds of stages. What they really want to do is control people through fear. And the only way to do that is to mix together these various areas of investigation. I've worked with a man who is a senior engineer at the Lockheed Skunk Works in a place called the Cube under the desert in California. And in that area, they had people hooked up to electronic devices. They didn't need a drug. They could do it electronically. Where they could tap into these other dimensions. Not extraterrestrials. would come from one dimension into 3D and be running around. Now, I know this sounds like something like out of Stranger Things, but guess what? Those guys listen to what I've been saying over the years, and they turn it into these fictional, silly movies and shows. Why are they deliberately mushing all this together? Because it creates the specter of fear.
They're trying to write the new cosmology and set themselves up as the saviors. It makes perfect sense.
Yep. Remember, people give up their freedom and their power when they're afraid and they run to Big Brother. And so they want to create this sort of global Big Brother that everyone will bow down to. And what better way to do it than to have something that they claim is the entire Earth? It's a warm-up to what's coming. We're like Paul Revere here when we said the British are coming. We're trying to warn people. We're cosmic Paul Reveres, you and me. Where we're trying to say, look, there's this hoax cosmic that they have been planning for 75 years. And now they're starting to unfurl it. And here's how we stop it.
Long before NASA existed, in every ancient culture, they have carvings and hieroglyphs in Sanskrit. What looks like Apache helicopters, what looks like 747s, what looks like why is this carved on the walls at the Great Pyramid in Egypt? What's going on here? And then you have all the secret societies trying to suppress knowledge about this going back. Genesis describing things that can only be what we see in Close Encounters of the Third Kind is what the book of Ezekiel sounds like to me. What's really happening here? We know we don't know the real history of the planet. We know it's been shrouded in secrecy. But now, we've seen so much unidentified flying object activity. A lot of people say, well, are there unidentified flying objects? Well, that's just like saying, are there aliens? We know there's a lot of unidentified flying objects. That's anything that you don't know what it is. Could be sunspots, who knows? Clearly, Hollywood and the establishment is preparing us for something big.
I think what the public needs to understand is this is a 75-year strategic plan that we're seeing unfurl before our eyes, and it's very worrisome. Prediction was made by no less than the Nazi rocket scientist Wernher von Braun. There had been a plan made where they would hoax an alien, and that this alien would be and she actually she worked for an aerospace contractor as one of the first women executives, a plan in the 1970s up and through now to this day, outlining things like these were all things that were planned out, if not the specifics of it, the general thrust of it. So this sort of endless scenario is something that's been known in our group, that's known about for a very long time. When I first began to brief the director of the CIA, for example, in 1993, Bill Clinton's first CIA director, he and the president were being denied all information on this. Now it's going right mainstream into the mainstream government. But what you're going to notice is that the spin they're putting on it always is that it's to the national security. Now, interestingly, like the videos that some of these you've been showing, those aren't extraterrestrial aliens. They're staging these things over our military bases and over our Navy ships. Those are ours. This is the classic false operation. When did it start? I said it started in the mid-1950s. I have a document stating explicitly that says that the psychological value of this subject should be exploited. attachments that we did not get. But the document makes it quite clear that this is what they would be doing. The UFO subject. So unfortunately, the public, through, as you pointed out, Hollywood, most of the big media, which is all corrupt and embedded into this, transnational criminal clandestine organization known as MAGIC, the Majority Intelligence Committee. A great acronym, MAGIC, because they do a lot of dark black magic as well, but we won't get into that. The Majority Intelligence Committee, those guys have gone through several generations of people. And there's a lot of conflict in that group now, but there's one cell of it that are beginning to, quote, leak, which aren't leaks at all. Footage like you've been showing from invariably, you'll see that the narrative says, oh, this is for our national security. Well, it's kind of absurd because most of the footage they've been showing are footage of our own clandestine anti-gravity aircraft. Flying over our own bases. U.S.